Hello and welcome to another video with myself, Richard Clements. And the nights are getting dark and the weather's on the turn. I thought I'd do a video about the websites that I use for navigation, planning my routes and that kind of thing. This isn't a you should use this. It's just what I use, and I use several because none of them are actually perfect. They've all got their flaws, and so I just thought I'd show you, what I use to plan my bike rides that you watch me doing. So without any further ado, let's dig in. So first one on the screen here is Komoot, which I believe they're a Dutch company. I actually, when they first started out, I bought the world maps, and they've changed it into a yearly subscription, which is rather expensive. Luckily, I'd already purchased the maps a few years back, so I don't bother with the subscription, and it does everything basically what I want. It does has its quirks. So it's quite a simplified user interface, if you like. They tried to make it a bit of a social media type thing, so you can do highlights and things. I don't really use it for that. I've had a dabble, but it's you can see this highlights thing, and I don't really use it. I just use it literally for planning routes. So if you look up here under the tab of Route Planner, it opens up into a map, and you've got layers here. So I don't bother with the Komoot map. It's actually not too bad once you scroll right in, but if you're looking at it like we are now from quite a way out, I find it not really detailed enough. So I always use the OpenStreetMap layer, and then you've got all the town labels and everything. So let's scroll in. So what I'll do is I'll just to show how Komoot works, if you've never used it, I'll just plan a really simple route. So let's start in Stonehouse, which is we're just down the road. So we'll click on that, and then you get a box pop up that says start here. So we'll start there. So that's point A, waypoint A, and you'll notice that waypoint A is over here. Whilst I'm in this little green box, you'll see that at the top you've got sport, so I've got it set at the moment to road cycling, and if you hit the drop down, you've got you can do hiking, bike touring, mountain biking, road cycling, running, gravel riding, enduro mountain biking, no idea what the difference is, and mountaineering. So I flick between bike touring, road cycling and gravel riding, and basically the gravel riding allows you to put sort of off-road stuff, like the Strawberry Line, or off-road bridleways and that sort of thing, whereas that literally just keeps you to the road. Sometimes I want to do mostly the road and a little bit of cycle path, and it's a bit of a battle with it. So as going back to what I was saying before, they've all got their little flaws, and Komoot is no different. And you have your fitness here, and it's a sliding rule, it's a scale. I just set it as average for me. So we've got point A, so that's the start point, and you can either have it one way or a round trip. So let's give it a round trip, because we always like to do I always like to do out and backs. Let's scroll out. Let's pick somewhere to go to. Let's go to Fairford rather. So click on that. You'll notice that the map has these little, and they're just points of interest that people's put on. So that goes back to the social media thing I was talking about earlier. So we'll click that as destination. As you can see, it's literally done an out and back route, which isn't too bad, to be honest, but let's just scroll out so we can see the whole route. And so I don't like doing out and back routes, so let's go to Tetbury. So if I just scroll in and let's go Velaton Tetbury because they got a coffee shop there, and you just click on it, include on route, and then it as you can see, it just includes that that point on your route. So you can build up a ride doing that. Let's do that. Click on that, and it just includes that as well. What's that? Flat, smooth and quiet lanes. Let's do that. Include our route, see what it comes up with. And you'll see over here we've now got basically a 100k ride out to Fairford and back. And yeah, so that's how it does it. If you want to go out the opposite way around, you'll just see over here you can reverse the waypoints, so you come back via Tetbury rather than going out via Tetbury as it was originally. And that's pretty much how Komoot works. And you can just click on Save Tour and give it a name, and it does upload to the Wahoo, so that route will be available once that syncs. So yeah, I did quite a lot of routes like that. When I say it has a few quirks, sometimes it'll take you into a lay-by and that kind of thing, so you just got to be a little bit careful. But yeah, no, I use it a fair amount. Not perfect by any chance, but yeah, it does the trick. And I've had some quite good rides, to be fair, when I've gone, do you know what, I'll just follow whatever it says. And yeah, it's I quite like the gravel rides as well, because as I said, it adds bridleways and cycle paths to it. Right, so that's Komoot, which I use a fair amount. And for those who have a Strava account, probably not necessarily aware that you've actually got a route planning thing on Strava as well, but this is if you've got a paid account. So this is only available if you pay the annual fee. So yeah, what you do is you click on Explore in Strava and then create route, and you're brought up on this screen. I think it picks up basically where your IP address is, so it's picked out where I am, and it takes me to that point every time. You'll notice on this map it's not a what's the word I'm trying to think of, like an OS map or anything, but you'll see the dark lines on that. That is basically popular routes that other users have used. If you scroll in, you can see the popular routes. So the darker it is, the more popular other rides and things that has been done, and the lighter the grey blue is the less popular, for want of a better description. So if you're doing a plan, you can see who other cyclists have been along there, which is quite handy. Going over to the left hand side viewing pane here, you can do the run, walk and ride pretty much as you did with Komoot. You can follow most popular, and I usually leave it at that, to be honest. And then a really handy option is elevation, and you can maximize elevation so it'll find every hill in the district if that's what you want to do, or you can click on minimize elevation and it will find the flattest route. And that is pretty good, actually. It works quite well. I did a 700 kilometer DIY back in July, and the route for that I actually created it in Komoot and then uploaded it into here, and then clicked on minimize elevation and saw what it came back with, and it knocked a few thousand feet off. So my comment with regards to none of them are perfect, but you can kind of get the perfect thing by doing things like that. Get the ride that you want. Yeah, and that again, going back to you can plan a route that way. It's almost the same, to be honest, as Komoot. You just click on there, there's your start, and let's scroll out, let's go down to Bristol from there. let's go to Keynsham. We'll go to Keynsham and we'll go there, and it's now picked a route. And okay, do you know what, 1700 feet is quite a lot of climbing. Don't want to do that. I'll minimise it, and it's knocked off 100 feet, you know, for 32 miles ain't too bad. And then if I'm feeling like a bit of self-harm, I'll maximise elevation, and you know, it adds that 100 feet back on again. So yeah, that's how that works, and you can edit it and all the rest of it like they all do. And you've got the mileage boards there. When you scroll it too far, they disappear. But yeah, I quite like that feature where you can minimise elevation or maximise it. I quite like that. Yeah, so that's Komoot. Komoot, what am I talking about? Strava. So that's the route planner in Strava, and that's a very whistle-stop tour of that. So another website I use a fair amount, or I have done in the past, I don't use it so much now, is Bike Hike. And it's very doesn't do bike paths or anything like that, and it is like a very much watered down version of that. And I used to use it quite a lot when you get a GPX from an organizer for a calendar event, an Audax, and they might do the route in sections, and you know, sometimes you don't want them in sections, so you're able to merge them together for one long route. So I used to do that kind of thing with this. I don't use it so much now, and it has been playing up of late. Yeah, I won't bore you to death with the excuse me, with the how to do a thing, because it's pretty much similar to all the others, to be perfectly honest. Right, so I also have a footpathmap.co.uk, and if I scroll out, you'll see that it looks quite colourful and quite confusing. And basically, for a cyclist, you're looking for the cerise or the pinky coloured paths, and those are the bridleways. The red ones are the footpaths. So this is a really good representation of rights of way, you know, for cycling and what have you. And yeah, it's got everything on there. I noticed Monmouthshire is not on there, so obviously they must have had a grump and gone, we're not trying to show it, giving you the data. But yeah, it does it for the whole of the UK. So yeah, this is handy just to reference when you're planning a route that has off-road on it, you know, and you're looking for these pinky paths, and you're allowed to ride along them. You just avoid the red ones. Red for danger. You're not allowed to cycle on it. So yeah, this is really handy as well. Use this for planning off-road. I haven't done so much this year, but yeah, off-road stuff, that's really handy. And there was another one, Ride with GPS, wasn't it? That's another one I use. Ride with GPS. And well, we all know this one, so you've got a route planner there as well, and it works pretty much the same as all the others. I think they've introduced a few sort of different options and that kind of thing. They've got their own mapping and what have you. So this is even using the same mapping as Komoot, really. It's all becoming a little bit samey, you know, as they get their act together and get their website sorted out. But yeah, so those are the main websites I use for navigation, planning me routes and that kind of thing. I'll put a link to these in the description, so you can have a look if you haven't been to any of these before. I'm pretty sure most people will have heard of Ride with GPS and Strava and Komoot. And yeah, so I highly recommend these. I don't, I use them all the time. The only one I really pay for is the Ordnance Survey one, because the mapping is so good, as you would expect. I suppose you could say I pay for the Strava one as well, but that's more. I like to use it more for showing what rides I've done, that kind of thing. I'm not bothered with the racing everybody else anymore. Well over that, I'm afraid. But yeah, so that's the main websites that I use for planning my routes. And obviously you can save the GPX files, so that for those that do the Audaxes, the DIY Audaxes, you'll need to send that to the if you're doing a mandatory route, you send that to the organizer. And so these websites is what I use, and I also use Strava for the proof of sticking to the route as well when it's a mandatory route. So all works perfectly well, pretty slick now, yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it hasn't been too onerous. Just thought it'd be something a little bit different to talk on a dark evening. No winter's on the way. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.